Hey, welcome to RV Capital Talk. I'm Andy McCaskey from RVNN TV, and I'm joined by Mr. Sherman Goldenberg. And we've got special guests here today from RVIA, Richard Coon, of course, the president of RVIA, and James Ashurst, who is the vice president for public relations and advertising. Everybody's talking about Louisville, and we can figure out what's going on.
Yes, on the brink of the Louisville show, the National RV Trade Show, 49th annual. We're here to talk with Richard and James about the lay of the land and how things are going for Louisville. Richard, how do things look at this point?
Well, Andy's right. Everybody's been talking about Louisville, obviously, for a good 3 months now. And it's really shaping up just great. To me, it looks a lot like, very similar to last year's show, as far as the number of participants and the size of the show, what's going on. For an example, last year we had 70 manufacturers show at the show. This year there's 67. Last year we had 251 suppliers show at the show, and this year there's 250. And then what's really encouraging is pre-registrations for dealers. Last year, 1,610 dealers were pre-registered by this date, and this year 1,606, only 4 different. So we're very encouraged about the show, and it's going to be a great success.
Hey, Richard, where did this 7:30 come from? I mean, you have to get up, you have to be there at 6 to make sure you get a seat.
You're talking about the Outlook breakfast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the Outlook breakfast, the traditional Outlook breakfast. Well, Andy, I'm glad you asked that, and I'm going to let James answer that because he's changing that, Andy.
You're changing that?
Well, we actually we've actually shortened this year's program from last year's. Last year's was a little over 2 hours, and this year, based on some of the feedback that we got from members, we've decided to shorten the overall program, but continue to do our best to entertain everybody that's there in attendance and get all the dealers, the manufacturers, the suppliers really pumped up and excited about this year's show, and get everybody charged up and ready to get out on the floor to buy and sell.
Yeah, well, you've got a couple of new things that are going to be introduced. Can you give us kind of a preview?
Well, I think the biggest thing that we're going to have at this year's show, which is going to be different from the past several years, is that we're going to be able to unveil the new creative, and that is the new print and TV advertisements that we're going to be launching in early 2012. Many people have read about it, of course, in RV Business and in other places, but the theme of this year's creative is going to be the Away campaign, and it's going to be focusing on that real emotional attachment, that togetherness, the fun, the excitement that RVs offer consumers, and to really get back to sort of capturing that emotional essence through the ads. So we're really excited to be unveiling those at this year's Outlook Breakfast. We're equally excited to have Stan Richards from the Richards Group to come out and introduce the new creative. I think his passion for Go RVing and for working with us as clients and representing this industry will really help sell the story. So we're very excited.
I know in the workshops this year at that level, the new phase of the technician training will be an emphasis. Can one of you update us on that?
Yeah, I can. You're right about that, Chairman. We'll be introducing technical workshops, which we haven't done in the past there, to help those technicians. We have a lot of technicians come to that show, but we'll be doing testing for the new training that we're doing. We'll also be doing some training itself. For an example, there's a session on body repair that fits with the certification career ladder training that was new for us. So a lot of new things in the seminar area that I think many of the dealers will be pleased to see.
James, I've got a question for you. A year ago, I'm not even sure if you had business cards, but the question I would have is, what's been your biggest challenge getting ramped up this first year?
Well, I think the challenge is, of course, learning a new industry and getting my arms around how all the various different parts work together. But overall, I think it's been a good year. I think we're in a good place going into 2012. I think the ads are going to be very well received. Again, getting back to that emotional appeal, and really putting the product out there and letting the product be the star. showcasing the variety of offerings that we've got here for consumers. So I think on the whole, it's been a great year. Again, I think the largest challenge has been getting a true understanding on how everybody works together and trying to best serve all the various audiences that we represent. Mm-hmm. But that said, I think the industry on the whole has a real great sense of partnership. I think that comes through the Go RVing Coalition, and it's been wonderful to get an opportunity to work with so many smart and talented manufacturers, dealers, and suppliers over the past year.
Yeah, so this would be your second one. It'll be my third one. Sherman, how many for you?
4.
4?
Yeah, I've been to 4 Louisvilles. Now, I guess, to kind of draw things to a summary here, we're sitting here on a situation that's not really too bad of a picture coming out of this recession. This is me saying it, and I want to see if you agree. I mean, you look at the numbers, stable. You look at the Go RVing campaign, sort of a back to the future situation, but certainly life going on. You look at the show size, stable. It's not a bad picture, is it?
No, I agree with you, Sherman. In fact, I hope to talk to that a little bit in my talk at the Outlook Breakfast about how fortunate we are in the industry. I think if you look at the rest of the country and the struggle that many industries are having, we're fortunate to be where we're at. I don't think we realize that overall. It hasn't been easy, but we're surely not in the tank. And if you look at how we come out of it, last year, we had the all-time highest come out of recession period that we ever had. It was 50% increase over the previous year. We've never done that before. And this year is ahead of last year still, even though it's been slowing down the last half. It's been a pretty decent year. So I think it's back to, we should be looking at our blessings, and it's so hard to do that when the economy and the news and the politicians and all the rest of it are so negative. It's been a pretty decent year. There's still a lot of people who want to buy RVs.
Yeah. Sounds like it's going to be a really positive show, and we want to thank you for joining us here today and giving us some insight on what to expect.
Thanks, you guys, for your time.
Thank you very much for the
Appreciate
opportunity.
it.
Thank you for joining us.
Okay, and thank you for joining us on RV Capital Talk.
For more TV like this from the world of RVs, head to RVNN.TV.